So in this video, we're going to take a look at the brand new TaylorMade Qi10 Iron. We're going to hit it, we're going to test it, we're going to review it, and I'm also going to put it up against the previous model, which was the Stealth Iron, to see if the new one is any better than the previous model. Stay tuned for the results towards the end of this video. So straight distance is the best distance. That's what TaylorMade is saying about this new Qi10 Iron. We're going to take a look at in this video. When we take a look at the first instincts, the back of the golf club, I think it looks pretty cool, really. Obviously, we've got that badge which we did see in Stealth, slightly larger badge. What we see in Qi now goes across the back, darked out, gloss back finish with the TaylorMade logo, and I think that looks quite nice from the back of the golf club. Wideish sole, as you would expect to see, and then a thickish top line, large profile head. This is a very forgiving iron. We've got a 7 iron here. It's 28 degrees of loft. This is very, very strong. So we're going to see some big ball speeds, as you can imagine. We're going to take a look at the spin number. I imagine it's going to be low with that type of loft. But we're also going to see maybe what the consistency is like as well. Sometimes that is a sacrifice when we look at these types of irons, maybe just that consistency of spin and carry distance. So, as always, we'll start things off with the playing position behind the golf ball. And I mean, that's a pretty big club head down by that golf ball. Massively confident, inspiring, long from the heel to the toe, the blade length. We've got some offset happening in the club. We've got a thickish, blocky top line, as you're going to expect in this type of iron. We've got quite a large toe section, I would say. When I look down at that, the grooves look to be positioned a lot closer towards the heel with a little bit of excess in that toe, which just looks a little bit strange to me, but in shape of the head, the rounded toe section is very, very nice. Very confident spine, as I say. Got a white bottom groove, satin where the grooves are. Let's get this first one underway. Okay, right, I've just tested straight away there, forgiveness levels. That was off a little bit low in the club face there, came out a little bit lower, you can see on that launch, carried 177. So that's maybe, we'll kick things off with that particular strike. That may be where that speed slot that we've seen many of TaylorMade's irons now was possibly helping me out. Low face strikes, keeps that flexing to just try and keep that ball speed up. So I just want to butt in quickly and ask for your support if I can. And if you subscribe, thank you very much. If you haven't and you're watching and you do enjoy the content, please consider just hitting that subscribe button. Helps me a lot. Ring the bell while there and you will not miss a video going forward. So TaylorMade are really hitting this sort of maybe mid to high handicap golfer that would play into this iron. And typically those golfers as right-handers would have a little bit of left to right ball flight, a fade, maybe a little bit more of a power fade as some of us would like to call it, but generally that miss to the right of target. So this iron's sort of built a little bit with a draw biased inside it to try and help straighten those shots, because we know if we can limit that cut spin, fade spin, we're going to get a little bit more distance and obviously some straighter shots. So that's the story behind this iron. Okay, not bad strike, just a bit leaky up that right hand side. You know, and it's a sound and feel that we typically see from this type of iron, that game improvement iron, that hollow construction, a little bit clickier, feels pretty powerful off the club face. So again, we see some similarities to the Stealth Iron with this cap back design. Obviously the slot in the bottom of the sole there, but the cap on the back of the golf club is from the Stealth to the Qi. Qi is a lot bigger, so I would say they're saving more weight there, redistributing that weight lower in that head, maybe a little bit more into that heel of the golf club. We're talking about a draw bias. If we can lighten that toe off a little bit, they're going to allow this club to probably square up a little bit quicker through that impact area to try and help reduce that right miss. And as I say, stay tuned to the end of the video because I've hit some shots with the Stealth, so we're going to compare the numbers between the two. Yeah, so that flight I'm seeing there isn't any different for me personally as a visual when we look at it up against the Stealth Iron. It's in a type of flight I'd expect from that 28 degree 7 iron. It's the feel I typically would associate with this type of iron. TaylorMade to put some dampness in the head to try and compact or limit, should I say, that vibration, that sound, you know, so it doesn't get too abrasive there, but it still sounds like a typical iron in that category. So I think we look at, you know, what type of golfer this really aimed at. As I mentioned, maybe that mid to high handicap golfer, somebody who's wanting to have some confidence putting that club behind that golf ball, who maybe just moves that strike pattern around that club face and need that little bit more stability that this hollow-headed, cavity-backed iron is essentially achieving. And maybe that type of golfer isn't too fussy if they hit that 7 iron that 5-10 yards further than maybe what they should be doing. You know, Is that an absolute game changer for them in that category? Do they just want to get that ball up and around that green as opposed to maybe being 20 yards short or 10 yards short? Okay, and that's a nice strike. That's good flight. Nice and straight as well. Okay, and a little bit more spin on that particular shot there, which is quite sort of interesting. So as I mentioned, we hit a batch of shots with the Stealth Iron, and obviously some there, as you can see, with the Qi10. So quickly looking at dispersion rings to start things off. So the orange is the Qi10, the white is the Stealth. Now we've got some longer ones with the Stealth, an odd one there, but the front to back dispersion is a lot tighter with the Qi10, which is, I think, quite important in this type of iron, and sometimes the irons in this category can suffer a little bit with that front to back dispersion. Probably example there, that one with the Stealth, a little bit of a fly one, that's probably a little bit more of a lower spin one. And then when we look at the averages there on those two batch of shots we hit, so Qi10 actually moved the club a tiny bit quicker there, but the ball speed isn't quite as quick, which is quite interesting. Launch pretty much identical, but you can see a spin number there, 5-1-3-2. So a little bit of a higher spin number. That 4-6 spin's pretty low, isn't it, there with that Stealth Iron. Similar lofts here. I think the Stealth is 28.5. This is 28, so actually it's half a degree stronger again, as they're trying to creep out as much of that distance as they possibly can. But in fact there with the spin number, which is quite refreshing, it's not actually longer there, but the spin number is better, so a little bit more control on that sample of test that I hit. So was I expecting more distance? And probably not. You know, in this day and age we're not going to creep out loads of distance, are we? But maybe I do like that fact there's a little bit more spin on that particular test there and a little bit tighter from that front to back. So if you've got a number into that green, you sort of want to hit that number subject to your strike. We don't want that little hot flyer that we sometimes see in these game improvement hollow headed irons. Appreciate you watching the video as always. Post comments down below and hopefully I'll catch up with you all very soon.